Get ready for the world's greatest Arsenal podcast. Welcome to another podcast by Guns and Yellow Ribbons. Enjoy the show.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Guns and Yellow Ribbons. I'm your host, Fergus. I'm joined, I don't know if I'm joined, but he's definitely physically there in person. Gunnar Hilsey is on holidays in Corfu. It's 2 hours ahead. He's been on the beer since probably, I don't know what time the bar opened, the all-inclusive, probably about 10 a.m. this morning.
Night.
He's still on it from last night. Also Danish Gunnar and Big T. We're going to look at the North London Derby, build up into the North London Derby. We're also going to look at a little bit back towards the Brentford game, the international break, and some of the injuries. Before I say hello, and before we go any further, I just wanted to say we had a message come through, which I saw in one of the Facebook groups from Edders MK, and said he lost his boy to cancer this morning. And he goes on to say how much he loved Arsenal, he was proud of Gunnar, and during his battle, he saw the FA Cup wins, etc. And throughout all his treatment, he listened to some podcasts, including the fantastic Arscast, Chronicles of a Gunnar, Handbrake Off. But he also mentioned Guns and Yellow Ribbons, and to me, that just really made me feel very proud and very honoured to give some solace to Gary and Ben. Ben was in his early 30s. He's a massive Arsenal fan, very brave, kept fighting till the end, and he wanted to be as fit in as much as he could with his remaining time with his friends and his family. But always wanted to do an away day, and I've got some pictures here of him doing an away day with Ross Hoggy, a friend of the show, at Southampton away, and they had a really good time. His brother Luke survives him as well, and there's his dad as well. So we just wanted to pass on our condolences and say, another Gunnar in the sky. You just keep a look down and make sure you're screaming good and loud, Ben, on Saturday morning. Right. Trev, how drunk are you?
Ferg, I can't move on until, my thoughts are with the whole family, and the fact that we might have made them smile a little bit on the long road they went through. I'm truly humbled. And our thoughts are with the family, and God bless them all, and I wish them all the very best. Going back to the podcast now, as we have to do, you can't dwell forever. I'm absolutely shit-faced, babe. Absolutely. Drunk as a skunk, mate.
I guess so. When the messages you sent to me about the Southampton away arrangements, I went, he's had a few sherbets. But you're committed now, so that's it. It's all done.
Yeah, it's on.
It's on.
It's on. Donna's coming, and it's all happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Tony, did you get to Brentford? Did you do Brentford away?
No, mate, I didn't do Brentford away. I didn't get tickets, but to be fair, I'd had so much on, and it was just too much logistically as well. Just had so much on a week after getting back from holiday. I didn't get to, but I did end up watching the game, and I was thoroughly impressed with not only the win and the 3 goals, but just the manner of the performance from start to finish. I thought it was very, very good. Controlled it from start to finish, and in all fairness, 5-6, even 7-0 probably wouldn't have, been a fair reflection of just how dominant we were.
Yeah, to be honest, Trevor, you'll remember when we were there last season, you spent most of the game there until you walked out in disgust at the end. But I'll just take you off mute because of the background noise.
Don't blame me for that, folks. Don't you go blaming me for that, son.
The noise that the Brentford fans made, I'll tell you what, the noise that the Arsenal fans made, there was 1,600 of us there, and we made a huge amount of noise. Alex, what did you make of the... Go on, Trev, go on, you're going to respond to that.
Just following on from what Tony said, what a great performance it was at Brentford. Totally controlled the game. Don't listen to what you hear on the media at all. We were in total control from start to finish, and we were never going to lose the game. And as you said, Ferg, such a turnaround from last season. It's so exciting what we're seeing. I'm so excited. And we're only going to get bigger and better. We're going to have the odd hiccup on the way, but we're only going to get bigger and better, mate.
Alex, talk to me about the 3 great goals. We had a goal from Saliba. It was outstanding. Jesus and Vieira. He comes from Portugal. He plays for Arsenal. Vieira, a great goal. It was a screamer for goal. So talk us through those for us.
Yeah, like first of all, I agree. You could hear the fans through the telly. Amazing atmosphere. It seemed like through the telly. And then for the goals, the first goal, corner kick. And I just want to shout out Nicholas Jover again, because it just seems to be working all the time. What he does, we keep scoring. Cheers, Trev. We keep scoring on corner kicks. And it was a love.
Sorry, Alex. What a crap effort that was, Trev. What a crap effort.
Go again.
I mean, listen, boys. I'm sorry. Alex. I'm so sorry, son.
It's going to be one of these podcasts, is it?
It is. You just know it.
We're stopping in a fantastic hotel called the Aphrodite Hotel in Rhoda on Corfu, right? And I told them tonight that I needed to do a podcast with you guys, and they've all been so helpful. And I'm now sat in the restaurant, just a little bit away from everyone else. They've bought me a beer. Panos, the lad who works here, now subscribes to us. Although he is a dirty Liverpool fan, I've forgiven him because he has subscribed to us. So wonderful. I'm having a wonderful time. International break couldn't have been spent better. But it's Thursday, isn't it? And the nerves are now kicking in because you young boys know, this weekend is the weekend. But Ferg, I'll just say one more thing, then I'm going to cut off and leave you boys to it. I don't think in many, many years I've had as much confidence in an Arsenal team as I have now, that are going to understand the importance of this game, the importance of the North London derby. I think the message will be put across, and I think they'll play for the badge. And I'm so excited about beating Tottenham this weekend. I'm so hopeful. But I'm going to cut off here because I'm going to drink beer and watch you boys.
Okay, you sit there in the background. We'll just put you on mute for now.
Cheers, Trev.
Just finish off with those goals. And the only thing I wanted to is talk about Ethan, the 15-year-old god. Tony's going to ask me to pronounce his surname. That's not happening. Wanyeri.
Sorry, what was his name?
That's
we just call him Dave.
Wanyeri.
Let's call him Dave.
Dave.
Finish off on those goals, please.
I think I was on about the Saliba goal. Another corner kick. I can't remember how many we've scored this season, but I think it was the 3rd, 4th already this season. Nicholas Jover, he's doing well. And then the second goal was a lovely cross-in from Xhaka, which Jesus headed in brilliantly, where he went between the 2 defenders from Brentford and headed it in. Powerful header as well. Not an easy finish. And then the third goal, I think you mentioned it before, but Vieira, he banged it in from 25 yards out, hit the post and went in, and I just watched the highlights before coming on, and you could just hear the ping of the bar as it went in. And 3 really Vieira. And then you can hear the fans singing.
He plays for us. I love it.
Go on. What are you saying, Alex?
Stop muting my mic, Fergus. I'm going to get annoyed with you.
Yes, as soon as the goal went in, you could hear the fans singing his name. What a debut he had.
It was indeed. Tony, do you reckon he actually meant to get that spin and that flick on it? I know he's got a reputation. I've not seen him in Portugal, but he had quite a good reputation there. Do you reckon he meant to kick it like that?
Yeah, no, I don't. I think it was a complete mishit. I think he was trying to go back to Ramsdale, play it safe, keep possession. But of course he meant to shoot, and of course he meant to score. Obviously, players nowadays with the new technology of the ball, with a new ball, they spin. You've only got it in a certain position. Again, whether he's meant to hit it with that sort of spin and caress it the way he did, we'll never know. But it's a fantastic strike, and obviously, like Alex just said on his full debut, I think when he went in, you sort of see how much it meant to him.
What a load of rubbish! What a load of rubbish, big lad. What a load of bunkum you're talking. Of course he meant it, Big Ton. Of course he meant it. He knew
So you
what he
just
was
said.
doing. Slide it in. Unbelievable you are, big lad. Unbelievable.
Trev, can you do me a favour? If you get the opportunity, if you don't mind pissing off and putting Panos, I'm happy to talk to Panos instead.
Panos has gone football training, believe it or not.
Oh, shame you didn't go with him.
Listen.
And
Looking at the stats on that game, we had the majority of the possession, 64% possession, 6 attempts off target, 7 on target. As Trevor said at the beginning of this, before he got further inebriated, we did dominate the game. But one question I did have on the game was we brought on a 15-year-old, Ethan Wanyeri, at 90 minutes, and he's a big lad. He is a big. There was no way we're looking and going, Christ. He looks 18, 20 years of age. He's quite stocky. And when you compare him to, say, Eddie Nketiah, who has bulked up a lot, he's much bigger. But look at down here. We got Matt Turner. Okay, let's not slag off our own players. You got Matt Smith, Ethan Nuari, and then Lino Sousa. And some of the other players that we've got in there. Tony, we seem to be having quite a lot of young. Do we have enough depth in the squad to go through to, we've got 9 games. Look, we've got these 9 games coming up in October. We've got Tottenham, obviously, at the weekend, Bodo, Liverpool, Bodo again, Leeds, Man City, Southampton, PSV, and Forest. Do we have enough in that squad?
Possibly not. Deep down, I still wanted one more addition in the squad, maybe 2. On paper, when you look at the first 16, it's pretty good. If you throw in Smith Rowe, Zinchenko, was missing El Neni, all of a sudden the squad looks better. Unfortunately, the adage with Arsenal is you do need that little bit of luck on the injury front. With Arsenal, we don't seem to get there for whatever reason. Obviously, Partey coming back is a big plus, and it looks like him, Odegaard are going to be fit for the weekend. Zinchenko's going to be fit for the weekend. So all of a sudden, you throw Zinchenko and Odegaard back into that. Vieira just had that little bit more experience there. And, it's not as bad as it looks. But again, with every team, it doesn't even matter if you're Man City, you need an element of luck with injuries. We always said that we only have to see it through to this side of Christmas, and then we can finish off the job we need to do in the transfer window in January. Whether we get that luck, whether we can see it through, obviously remains to be seen. So, it's one of those questions where it's probably an open question. You'd have to come back to it in sort of 3 months' time.
Well, in 3 months' time, I agree with you that it is get through these 9 games in October. Then we got a couple of games in November, and then we're breaking for the World Cup. So then the transfer window. So if at the end of October we're still in a similar position or in our there or thereabouts, I think then if we can strengthen correctly, I think it's really good.
I think
Alex,
you just have game management as well, and this is where Arteta is going to really earn his stripes. Going to sort of Bodo, and you should be able to play your so-called second string, your Nketiahs, Marquinhos is bring Holding in and give those people that have not had sort of many minutes the opportunity and a run at.
No, agree. International break bored us all to death. Alex, you went through the squad, and you went through like players like Saliba. You saw Saliba, Odegaard, Tierney, Partey. Run through what your bit on the international break first, please, mate.
Yeah, I just wanted to update on all the players ahead of the game on Saturday and see who's available or not. I'll start with Saliba. He played around 70 minutes in France's first game against Austria, helped them keep a clean sheet in a 2-0 win. Then he was in the starting 11 for the France game against Denmark in Copenhagen, which I saw live in the stadium. And I must say he struggled a lot in the first half. Denmark went up 2-0 in the first half, and he was subbed off during the halftime. But yeah, no injury concerns for him. And then Odegaard, he of course missed the game against Brentford, which allowed Vieira to play, but he had a calf problem. But then he played both of Norway's international games against Slovenia and Serbia.
Did that worry you?
That he was playing both?
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, you don't want to see a player who just missed the game due to injury play two two times 90 minutes in the international break. So, yeah, I was quite worried and keeping an eye on when he played. But there's considerable hope that he's fit for the game versus Tottenham. He didn't pick up any new niggles or anything for Norway. So he should be fit and ready for Saturday.
Tierney?
And then Tierney, he played 85 minutes for Scotland in their first international game against Ukraine, which they won 3-0. And then he started the game versus Ireland as well, but was subbed off just before halftime due to a head injury. But like Odegaard, he should be ready for the North London derby as well. I think it was just precautionary that he was brought off.
Did Zinchenko play for Ukraine?
He didn't join up with the Ukraine team at all. He also had a calf injury, which he sustained before the international games.
He was suspended for the first game anyway, wasn't he, Zinchenko? So I suppose precautionary, they probably just left him out and no risk.
Yeah, I think he just stayed at Coney to be ready for the game versus Tottenham. He should be ready as well. They're hopeful that he'll be able to
how much will he be up for that game? Zinchenko's he's one of us. He's a gooner, and he's going to be well up for that game. You would have thought. I
think it's going to be very important that we have him. It's crazy how much he controls the pace of the game when he plays, when he drifts into midfield as well. He's going to be vital for us Saturday. Trev, do you want to add something?
Yeah, it's really interesting what I've listened to. Then, what you got to remember, boys, is that when we get injuries, our substitutes are our third choices. So we're not going to look so strong. I'm really happy with the squad at the moment. I agree with Tony. One more signing would have been perfect, absolutely perfect. But I'm not unhappy with the squad. It's just interesting. There's going to be an argument cropping up now, and I'm going to start it off. This going to be the Zinchenko Tierney thing, isn't it? Do we play either, or both? What happens, because there's no doubt that Tierney and Zinchenko are two of our best players, our very best players. So how does it work? How do we fit it in? What do we do?
Well, it depends if Partey is available. And what happened on Partey, Alex?
Yeah, he went away with the Ghana squad, and he was in the starting 11 for their game against Brazil, but then he pulled out during the warm-up and since went back to Coney to be assessed ahead of the game Saturday. But he should be ready. They're hopeful that he's going to be ready to play. So I'm really crossing my fingers for that one.
Tony, could you see maybe playing KT and then if Partey's not available, moving Xhaka across and playing Zinchenko, or is that just too lack of balance? Would you have Vieira instead?
Yeah, I think that for years we've had square pegs in round holes, and the argument has always been, the criticism of Xhaka. Why start moving Xhaka around when he's producing arguably his best form in a long time? It has been for the last sort of 12, 14, 16 months for Arsenal. Let's not start moving too many pieces around. If one piece of the puzzle, the jigsaw, is removed, let's not move a load of pieces around to try and accommodate that shape. If Partey's out, I'd rather just go straight with like a Zinchenko or a Lokonga straight into the team. Keep the shape, keep the dynamics, and go like for like, rather than try and move everything around, because too much movement may the fluency and what we've been producing at the moment.
Upset the apple cart, really, doesn't
it? Exactly.
Yeah.
It's spot on, mate. Exactly that.
And there was two other players. We know Smith Rowe has gone. He's now confirmed he's out for surgery and probably won't be back till Christmas. What happened with Tomiyasu?
Yeah, he played the full 90 minutes for Japan versus USA in the first game, which they won. And then he didn't feature in their second game, as he also went back to London Coney to be assessed ahead of the game. He had some small niggles as well, but he should be ready as well.
Okay. So we've got through the international.
The Tomiyasu thing is really interesting. What Alex says, in that a lot of people have been saying, Arsenal need to be worried. Tomiyasu is saying he's not getting enough game time. I look at it completely the opposite. I think we need a whole squad that are wanting game time, that are wanting to play for the Arsenal, that are thinking they're good enough. That's what we've been lacking. We've been lacking it badly. And we just spoke about Partey and Xhaka as well. You know, I've been one of Xhaka's biggest critics. You know that. You all know that. I've said it. But there's no doubting the lad has been one of our leaders this year, and his performances have been amazing. And if people are getting injured, from my perspective, we need to look at how Jack has been playing and how he's been playing, doing so well, and thinking, who do we put in that can play around Xhaka, that can keep Xhaka playing at this level, and keep our performances at the level they are. He really has become important for. He really has.
Yeah, to be honest, as much as it pains me to say it from previous reason, but I've got over it a little bit. Is that he is probably one of the first names on the team sheet, and until we get somebody better in that position, I don't think you cannot pick the guy.
Shaq is very much like me in this podcast, underrated and underappreciated.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And he's definitely underappreciated. Yeah. The last time we were asked a question similar to that, myself and Dan Gunning we were in Switzerland, and the Swiss TV asked us a question about Granit Xhaka, and we decided to do a Saliba song instead, which was easier than being impolite. So, Tony, I
did see that, and I did have a chuckle.
we were honestly, Tony, we were. Yeah, well in.
Yeah, funny enough, mate, I've seen the video. I don't need you to explain that to me. I could see how pissed you was.
Yeah. But it's just a theme, isn't it? It's just a theme. So Northumberland Derby comes up. It's an early kickoff on Saturday. Yourself and your dad are coming over on Friday night, Alex, and you've booked the double suite, haven't you? So the 2-room suite.
Another trip to Keating's house. Third time in a couple of months now.
Yeah, well, you're going to be paying poll tax and definitely electricity soon, because the way it's getting in this
sure.
Place, we're going to be charging utility charges. So you arrive in on Friday, where we'll have breakfast in the local cafe, probably about half 8, and then down and head down towards. We might do the Blackstock, might do the Tolly, but to be honest, I want to get in the stadium reasonably early. I want to get in the stadium about 11:15 when the stadium opens and get the atmosphere going, like what we did when you came down for, which game was it you were down for the last one?
Villa game,
yeah. And it was absolutely rocking. It really gets going. I think there's going to be a huge atmosphere. There's a big appetite for people to get in early and get the atmosphere going. There's a TIFO beforehand with the Ashburton Army. They are asking people in block 24 and block 25 and block 26.
Yeah,
25 and 26 to get in about 10-15 minutes earlier. They got cards, they got banners going up, they got flags. And I'm just reading some notes coming through from there's currently a forum going on with the Arsenal Supporters Association with the board. And they're actually saying block 25 will soon, it's quite possible that it'll be removed from the family enclosure from January to allow for, which I think is correct, to allow for the Ashburton Army to grow in that area, because if you've got younger children, it may not necessarily be the right place to be. Tony, do you think that's a good idea?
Yes and no. I love the concept. I always think the family section should never have been near the away fans anyway. But my only concern would be that if we create something in block 25, come the cup games, and we lose a lot of that section behind the goal, where do they get put? Are they going to be split up and spread around the ground? Because then if so, that sort of loses... for some of the bigger games, the cup games, that loses a big part of the atmosphere of what's becoming at the Emirates. So the family side, I completely understand, but my only concern would be that for the big games, would they get split up and moved around the stadium?
Yeah, no, I get that, and it's a good point, Trevor. Don't you think? What's your thoughts on if they did make it exclusively to adults and no, not family enclosure in block 25 to accommodate the Ashburton Army?
Would they not move the family enclosure round a block the other way or something, though? Because it's like Tony says, it's a bit of a catch-22 situation that you want the family enclosure because you need the youngsters, but you're loving what the Ashburton Army are doing, so you have to find a happy medium. You have to satisfy everybody, and it's a big enough stadium to satisfy everybody. It shouldn't be difficult, especially with as I understand the possibility of safe standing coming in, they should take that as an opportunity to put a safe standing in, have a massive rearrangement, and take it from there. But it's big enough for no one to suffer. There should be a family area, and also there should be room for them Ashburton Army lads, because that wonderful atmosphere that we're enjoying this season and towards the end of last season, we've all got to admit it, is got a big part played by the Ashburton Army. They've lifted it undoubtedly, and the players playing well has lifted it, because we all watch players playing well, don't we? And we all cheer that. But it shouldn't be a problem, for it shouldn't be a problem.
Do you think there's a
Apparently,
possibility? Sorry, boys. Do you think there's a
Sam,
possibility of putting the away fans back in the upper tier?
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it, son, and I'd love to see him go in the corner where they can't be seen on the telly as well, so that.
I get that. Obviously, some away fans, you have to have a section on the lower tier, don't you, for away fans? But when we first moved to the Emirates, you had a section in the upper tier that was for away fans only. So you had some in the lower tier, some in the upper tier, so it was split. Do you think there's a possibility then going back to that again? Because all you need is a bit of netting over the top, wouldn't you, to stop them chucking things?
Tony, it's a very interesting argument you make, mate. It's so interesting. And I get the ump about it a bit, because the Arsenal, as we always do, because we've got class, abide by the rules, and we give the away fans the lower tier. But you look at the likes, springs to mind immediately, Manchester United.
Or Newcastle.
And Newcastle.
Sunderland.
Manchester have got a 73,000 stadium that they're going to expand. And they're still coming up with excuses not to let away fans get in the lower tier. Absolute rubbish, mate. Absolute rubbish.
Listen, we got a train strike in the UK on that day, so I know for some it's an early kickoff. Stan in Canada, he's got a 4:30 a.m. kickoff, and we've got people right around the world who'll have different times. But the train strike is going to make a difference. I think there's a lot of people who can't get into the game. You were worried about yourself, Alex, about trying to get to get to. If it was going to cancel the game completely at one point, weren't you?
Yeah, there was talks of it going off completely, but luckily it's not. I think you calmed me down a bit as well, Fergus, because I was worried at one point that it was going to get called off, but luckily it doesn't seem like it is.
Tony, what do you reckon the atmosphere is going to be like on Saturday then? Because early kickoffs in the past have been quite mild. I temper that with when we went to Leicester away last season, and we all thought, "Oh Christ, 12:30 kickoff." Ramsdale done that save like nobody else could have. We'd done a 3-0 win, and the place was rocking, and it's been rocking ever since. Do you think it's going to be rocking on Saturday?
Yeah, I do for many reasons. One, obviously, because it's Arsenal Tottenham. For me, it's one of the biggest derbies in the country. I think it's probably the biggest derby in the league by a country mile. Two, I think because of the international break we've just had, and then we missed the game at home with Everton. People are going to be like, it's good to be back. It's been a long time for me. I've not been to a game since Leicester at home. I was on holiday.
Oh, wow.
Was due to obviously come back for Everton. That obviously cancelled, postponed because of the death of the Queen, and then time wasn't on my side for Brentford. So the two games I've missed, I'm itching to get back, and I'm absolutely buzzing. And if I'm honest, I'm counting down the hours as we speak. So for various factors, loads of factors and numerous reasons, I think it's going to be buzzing Saturday. I think it's going to be incredible. And I think should we produce a performance and most importantly get a win, I think you'll see big things, because I think people may see a different Arsenal. Obviously, cement being top of the league going into another week, and I think if we win, it's the growing belief that we need. If we can somehow get 4 or 6 points in these next two games, the belief and atmosphere around the place is going to be unreal.
I agree. Well, what's your expectations of the game? Like, with Richarlison and Conte, the shithousery that they both can get up to is what I worry about more than anything else. And the way Son and Harry Kane worked, holding into a frenzy in the game at the end of last season, I'm just worried, like, will our players, get their head in the game? And I know Trevor said that this is the side he first believes in, that for a long time has given him belief that they'll know what it's all about. But will they be mature enough to deal with it?
I think it's different arguments. If we was going to Tottenham Stadium with the noise, the atmosphere, that hostility potential, I think the game's completely different. At the Emirates, we're behind the team. There's more. The North London derby for vast majority of games has always favoured the home side, and I think the atmosphere and the fans play a big part in that. So players doing what they do at White Hart Lane, I don't think they'll get away with it at the Emirates on Saturday. And I think we turn up with the right attitude. I see us winning. I honestly, because Tottenham have got a little bit of resilience, but I don't see them as they've been boring and dull. And as long as we're not stupid like at Old Trafford and get caught on the counter attack, I think we can resist and withstand anything they've got to offer.
I want to come back to that point, actually. Trev, while I got you on there, so what's your expectations of the game, the lineup, and do you think that our boys will have the cojones to, stand up in this game?
Oh, Ferg, man, I'm agreeing with every word the big fella says again. It does my nothing.
You're drunk. You're drunk.
Week in, week out.
But we do, going back to Richarlison fits the Tottenham mould completely, doesn't he? He fits it perfectly, and that is a knob. He's a complete and utter knob. And he fits that Tottenham mould completely. And that does worry me a little bit. But what doesn't worry me is that I know for a fact that with the home crowd, and if we play to the best of our abilities with the team we've got available, we're never going to lose the game. We're never going to. If the referee's fair, if Kane don't get a penalty through diving, or Son don't get a penalty through diving, or Richarlison don't get a penalty through diving, then we're home and dry. We're totally home and dry. And I'm so happy with where we are as a football club. I'm 60 years old. It's been a long time since I've gone into games thinking, yeah, we're all right. We are really, really all right here. So I've got no doubt if things go our way, just not the luck. We don't need luck, but if just the refereeing and everything goes our way as it should, we'll win the game this weekend. I'm sure we'll.
Hang on, Tony.
Do you know what? Go on.
No, go.
I was just going to say, following on from what Trevor was saying there, what tell us whether we're going to win the game or not is that first tackle. Do you remember last season at home? The first 5 minutes was a bit cagey. Son come across and Ben White clattered him, and he got up, and the whole crowd reacted. And that first tackle, if we win that first tackle and make sure we go through and we're ruthless in that first tackle, we'll win the game.
Absolutely.
And the players did actually lift themselves on that sense. Alex, what player worries you, or which players worry you from a Tottenham point of view?
I mean, I hate the guy Richarlison, but he is a good player. And I think we're going to see him start. He's going to be starting, I think so, because I think Kulusevski is out, possibly injured. But yeah, I mean, I hate the Tottenham squad, but they are good players.
Not the shit, crap, rubbish.
Højbjerg, I watched him play against France last weekend. He's a good player as well. He likes a good tackle.
Who?
Højbjerg.
I can't even pronounce it.
Danish.
Okay. Oh, yeah, he's not.
One thing I'm not too worried about is their defense. I don't think their defense is very good. I mean, they've got that Romero guy he's pretty decent, but I don't really rate Eric Dyer, Ben Davis, and then they've got on their wing backs they've got that Perisic guy. I don't think he's a good defender. He's pretty good going forward. And then on the other side they've got, I think, Emerson Royale. He's been pretty shit this season. But yeah, they've always got their attack front three: Kane, Son, Richarlison.
Alex.
So, yeah.
Alex. Listen, son. You shouldn't know this much about the Tottenham team. You shouldn't know this much about the Tottenham team because they're irrelevant to you, son. You're a gooner. You're one of us. Don't know so much about them. they're crap. They're rubbish, and we are a better team this year, and we're going to beat them. I've never heard of their players. Who are they?
I am confident, though, Trev. I am confident.
Anyway, coming back to Alex, because he's made some really good points here before
Yes.
the old man in the corner. Right?
He's ordered another beer, so it's only going to get worse.
What Alex was saying about their defence, I think he's spot on. I think they can get at or be got at. Now, if you've got Martinelli with his pace and the tenacity in that, as good as Perisic may be or was once, he's now 34 years old playing fullback.
Yeah.
Now, I watched Martinelli give the best fullbacks in the world, the Liverpool fullbacks and this
Trent,
and that. The best, he roasted Liverpool, and Van Dijk and Klopp both come out and praised him. Now, if you've got the best teams saying that, and Man City saying it about Martinelli, the likes of Session and Perisic, we shouldn't be worried about them. These boys are confident, and I'm telling you now, Bukayo Saka will score on Saturday because he's had so much stick. He's been given so much criticism, and he came on against England for England the other day and changed the game.
Yeah.
And that 10-15 minutes, will give him that confidence to go, do you know what? I'm Bukayo Saka, and I'm making that World Cup place my own. And he will score Saturday. Mark my words.
I think he'll be the hero of the day, if I'm honest, because I was asked to say for Highbury squad, they asked me a couple of questions about that thing, and I put a little clip to them, and I said that he'll be the hero of the day. The question I have on my lips about, and this is probably about the manager, and I'm not questioning the manager because I actually support the manager, and I think we've got a great manager, but we went to White Hart Lane needing a point. And we went all out to get 3. And maybe was that a mistake? We went to Old Trafford. We dominated the game. VAR didn't do us any favours. We got back to 1-1. Myself, Trev, and everybody else who was up there thought the only people who are going to win this game is Arsenal. It went 2-1, and Arteta made 3 very quick subs right together. Was that too quick, too soon? This is going to be a huge test. Trev, I'll come to you with it because I know how passionate you are about Arteta and how positive you try to be about the side first. This is a huge test on Arteta to see of his game management.
Of course it is, Ferg. I mean, we spoke about the 3 substitutions, didn't we, at Manchester United, and we said we thought that maybe he was a bit naive, as were the rest of the team. But he's our manager. He made the decision that he thought was right, and we were unbeaten. So who's to argue? Who's to argue, son? Arteta is our manager. He learns every game, much as we learn every game as fans about how our team plays. And every game we see different things. We see Xhaka improving. We see Tony saying Saka's going to score a goal. We watched Saka come on the field against England and probably play the best he's ever played for England in the last few minutes on the right. So I've got absolutely no problem with anything about the Arsenal Football Club, anything. And I'll tell you what, Big Tone, this is something between you and me, which you can expand off if you want, right? I am absolutely certain that when we go to White Hart Lane this year, or this season, excuse me, you and me, son, won't be leaving at the same time we did last season and having to take on that lot up the Park Lane as we walked. We will be there at the end, mate, because we will be proud of our side. That's how I think we've improved, mate, honestly.
Come back, Tony.
No, I think Trev's right, but I think that comes down to recruitment. Last season, we took a massive gamble in January with the striker. We thought he was signing Valuich, and quite clearly his agent used us. We went all guns. We went, 2 feet deep, to sign Valuich, didn't have a backup, and we took a gamble, and I think that was part of the reason why we failed in our quest for Champions League football. But you look at the recruitment this season, the squad depth, the unity, the togetherness of Arsenal. That failure last season has only, I think, inspired the Arsenal fan base and the Arsenal squad and the Arsenal manager to kick on. And that after Man City last season, there was a bit of a siege mentality in the Arsenal fan base because it was everyone against us. And that was the start of something. And the defeat to Newcastle and Tottenham, I think, is only inspired. And I think when you look back in a decade's time, that failure is going to be one of the biggest positives for Arsenal Football Club. Because we all learn in failure and defeat. It's not all about winning and success. People grow. The likes of Saka, Martinelli, they're all a year older. And that failure, I personally believe, from what I've seen so far this season, is what's inspiring this team. They are determined to put things right because they don't want to be seen to be the failures, the bottle jobs. And I think looking back in a few years' time, you're going to go, do you know what? That was a pivotal moment for Arsenal and Mikel Arteta.
No, valid point. And I suppose you could easily spin the Man United triple substitution as if he had won the game on that, he would have been a genius, wouldn't he? So, it's just how things spin out. Alex, your thoughts on...
One minute. Sorry, Alex. Ferg, this is something.
Alex, I'll see you on Friday, yeah?
Thank you. Bye.
Ferg. Sorry, Alex. Ferg, you've got to stop dwelling on that triple substitution, son. I know it was a really important part of the game, and I know that we can all interpret it different ways. But it's what our manager felt was right at the time. And that's the end of it. That's it. We should move on from it, mate, honestly. Because we have a top manager that all managers make mistakes. We all thought he made a mistake there. Yeah, it's done. Move on. This week, we're going to beat Tottenham.
Alex, your thoughts before you get rudely interrupted again, and Tony just about unmute himself. Your thoughts on the test that's ahead of the team, the test is ahead of the manager, and finish it off with probably what you expect as your score prediction.
Yeah, it's just crazy how different our squad is compared to that second last game of the season. When I look at the squad, we had Holding in there. We're going to have Saliba now there. We're going to have Jesus. Partey is going to be fit and ready. I think we're just going to see such a different game compared to that loss at the end of the season. I think it's going to be expected, but I think we're going to dominate the possession. Spurs are going to be sitting back like they always do. Doesn't matter if they're playing Arsenal or Leicester or whatever; they'll always be sitting back, going ready for the counter. But I think having Saliba is just going to be such an important factor for the game with his pace, catching up to Son. Him versus Son compared to Holding versus Son last season is just going to be a game changer. He's not going to be caught up and getting double booked. And hopefully Saka will score. Hopefully Jesus will score. I don't really care. I just hope we win. But my prediction is 3-1 to Arsenal.
Trev, before you fall over with the amount of drink you've been drinking while you've been on here, he's on his 6th pint.
It's still his first one.
He's ordered a second, but Paphos is not bothering to bring them one over because he knows he's going to be a problem.
I'm waiting for my next one to be delivered. My beautiful wife Donna is waving at me and saying, "You're going to get a pint in a second, but it ain't coming." But I agree.
Are you sure it's a wave?
I think it is. What does two fingers mean like that? Is that a wave? Is that a royal wave? So?
Apparently, Sammy sent us a message and said, "You better hurry up because your granddaughter even sent you a message said you better hurry up. Nanny's getting pissed on her own."
I can see her drinking. But look, right, we've got to talk seriously about this game of the weekend, and Alex is right. I think Tottenham will score a goal because they've got too many cheats not to score a goal. They've got Richarlison, they've got Kane, they've got Son. It will all drop at the touch of a fly, right? They will all drop at the touch of a fly. So you can't expect them to get one goal. But I honestly think that we can score 3 against their defence. I really, really do think we can score 3 against their defence. What we've got running around up front with Saka on the one side and Odegaard ruling the roost, and then Jesus, I honestly think we're going to win this game 3-1. I agree with Alex. There was a point I was going to make, but I've forgotten about it now. But what I'll do is I'll remember it in a minute and I'll cut someone off rudely. So I apologise.
So you're going for 3-1, Tony.
Classic.
What's your prediction on the result of the game?
I'm not going to do a score prediction because for me, it's going to be about the first goal. If we score first, we win it. And I think we win it comfortably. If we concede first, we've played into Tottenham's hands because they'll sit back and catch us on the counter-attack. We've got to be intelligent. We've got to be smart. And if we start the way we have done all season, I think we could punish them. and as long as we're sensible and intelligent, I think we may be enjoying ourselves Saturday night.
Could we be emulating?
I've remembered the big ladders jogged the old man's memory.
Fergus, funny enough, he's got the light bulb above his head. Look.
Oh dear! Oh no, the big ladders has reminded me. Right, we did get turned over at Man U, didn't we? We were naive, got caught on a break, and our defence just looked a bit ordinary as they went through us. But I honestly think that Arteta is the kind of bloke that has learned from that. He won't get caught again like that. He will not get caught again like that. We won't get caught on a break against Tottenham because we live and we learn, and we've learned our lesson. And if they score one, it'll be through cheating, but we'll score 3. I'm with Alex all the way, mate. I'm with you all the way, mate. 3-1.
I'm going to go 2-1. I'd love us to emulate the ladies and do 4-0, or even the under 18s and do 4-1. It would be fantastic to get 4 goals and score 12 goals against Tottenham on all levels in a week. That would be just.
I'd love to really punish them this Saturday of all Saturdays. Really punish them.
I hope we expose them.
Yeah.
Boys,
Would be able to...
boys,
there you go.
Thank you, mate.
Carlos!
Llama. Efaristo. Llama.
Efaristo.
There we go.
He's all showing off now. He's showing off now. He's bilingual or cunnilingual or something like that, isn't he? So yeah.
Oh, because that was a bit over the top. What does that mean?
Yeah. I'm not saying what that means on here. If you don't know that, you've got a problem. Listen, some of the other topics that I wanted to really touch on very briefly, which was the Bodo tickets, just generally ticketing in total, in entirety. I know Trev finally got a ticket to go to Bodo, and you were impressed by not by the start of how the experience was, but the ultimate goal is you got your ticket to go to Bodo. Yeah. Yourself and Terry are going there, and the club did step up. But I got some stuff coming through on here. There's a big movement on ticket touts. They're going to try and look at third party sites, and people have been referred to. If somebody buys a ticket from, I don't know, StubHub or whatever, I'm just using an example, but a third party site, and they're referred to the ticket office. The season ticket holder's name will be noted, and they'll get a 10-year ban. They're also doing more things with collecting, and they've done this in Bodo, Trev. You've got to collect your ticket in person. You've got to go and see an Irish guy in the Hilton, give him 2 pints of lager at £20 a pint, and he will give you the instructions of how to get that ticket. I just read it on Twitter. If it's on Twitter, it's got to be true, Trev. Your thoughts on the Bodo experience and just generally ticketing in total?
Arsenal went from lowest of the low to top of the top this week, mate. In that there was only 400 odd tickets for sale for Bodo, but they've brought in this new regime of you have to collect your tickets in the country away when you're there. So they're trying to help people like us out that may not have enough credits to get tickets, which is great, admirable. But what they did was, when all the tickets didn't sell out at a certain level, they said that they weren't going to lower them, and they actually said to me that they may send some back. I was speaking on the phone to someone from Arsenal ticket office that said they're not going to lower the level of the credits, and they're going to send some back, which it made me really angry. It made me really angry because people like myself, we go to the games and we should have a right to get those tickets. But in fairness to the Arsenal, and this is where it counts, you see, I didn't shout and scream at them. I had a conversation with them. And the following day, they decided, I'm not saying it was me that did it, it was probably a multitude of people complaining, decided that they would lower the credit level and give us tickets to go to the game. So we're going to Bodo. And if he keeps laughing, I'm going to chin him when I see him, that big lad.
For once, Trev, I'm not laughing at you.
One of his kids or his wife nearly walked in on the camera, didn't realise she was live.
My daughter walked in and said, "Who's that silly old man talking rubbish?"
Don't you talk about Fergus like that. Don't you talk about our Fergus like that. But no, in all seriousness, just to finish off, the Arsenal did. They decided they were going to lower the credits and sell them to proper fans, and they even rung me up and said, we've got a ticket reserved for you. You've now reached the level. We understand the conversation with you. So they turned it around, and that's all we ask as fans. They listen to us, and sometimes when we're right, they see common sense, and that's what they've done. So we're off to Bodo to watch the Arsenal.
Interestingly, randomly, 500 tickets for any away game will be held back for collection in person, up to 500 tickets. So I think they're just trying to stop. Listen, I don't have enough away points, and I've got some good friends who help me out, and I'm going to PSV on the strength of that. And it's the risk I run that if I don't get the ticket because I have to pick it up in person, that person's not there. It's the risk I take, and I lose that. But they're trying to stop. Okay, I'm a genuine fan who's going, but they're trying to stop people selling on the quid, as you said before, and even a few £100. Us four on here and the other people who have been on the podcast in the past have all more or less stuck to get yourself a beer, but once it starts getting beyond that, 10 or 15 quid, it starts getting.
Problem is, Ferg, it's like life though, isn't it? It's always the minority that ruin it for the rest. The majority will be giving it to genuine fans, will be giving it to their mates who are genuine fans for face value, just whatever. But there's always the small minority that will, like you say, I've bought tickets before. My mates have given me an extra £5 or £10 or whatever, for petrol, or I've been lumbered. Yeah. Me and my mate have just paid 45 quid for Leeds away each. Again, I begrudgingly paid it. I'm quite a principled guy, but when people start sticking more and more, and you think, well, it's just a tat, it's just a way of making money, and genuine fans are missing out because they're selling it to the highest bidder.
You're going up with George, aren't you?
I'm going up. Yeah, going up. Well, going up with two George. Going up with quite a few Georges.
Yeah, he asked me if I was going, and I said no, it's my wedding anniversary, so I turned down the opportunity for a ticket.
Okay, so why are you not going?
I was speaking to my wife en route to drop me off at the station for Brentford, and she's gone out she does different classes and stuff on different days of the week, and she had one on that Sunday. I said, all right. I said, they've got one next Sunday. I said, no, I meant next one's on October the 16th. And I went, oh, our wedding anniversary, so are you going? She went, yeah. I went, oh, you turned down Leeds for the year. So there we go. Guys, listen, you've been watching an Arsenal podcast by, I can try to get my words out. You've been watching an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans before old man Trev falls over, totally inebriated. We're going to sign off, and we will.
Are we signing off already? We've not spoken about it. We're going to Bodo after the Tottenham game. Why haven't we mentioned Bodo in the Arctic Circle? But Alex, I've only made one note tonight. It was to ask Alex this question, right? All you Northern Scandinavians and all that, Alex was saying about how hard you are with the cold and all that. I've looked at the weather forecast for Bodo next week in the Arctic Circle. It's not going to drop below freezing, Alex. It's not going to drop below freezing. I'm not even going to take my long johns. I might even take a pair of shorts.
You're lucky you're coming early. Come January, mate, or December, you're going to be freezing your tits off.
Well, no, we won't, though. We won't, because we're there next week. So.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're lucky.
Am I going to see the Northern Lights, Alex? Is there a chance?
Yeah, not if you've been drinking as much drink as you've been drinking now. Even Heath is asking how many pints have you had?
Well, I won't drink as much there, will I? It's about £15 a pint.
Well, that didn't put us off. That didn't put some of us off in St. Gellan, did it?
You're not wrong. I was carrying you all night, Fergus.
No, I got a cab.
Trev, you just have to drink enough beer and you see the Northern Lights.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, that's the thought. Yeah. That's the fault. Oh, well, yeah. Oh, so that's it. We're going to beat Tottenham. Have a nice trip to Bodo. What is Fergus?
I'm doing this because I'm going to show you a picture. There's a picture of my daughter. She'll kill me. And that's with the Community Shield, the Premier League, and the FA Cup. And the reason why I'm showing you that, it's a while since we've done that. And getting back to where we started, Ben, Luke, and Gary pictured with the exact same thing, and that's the one. When I saw that photo,
Wow.
that's the one that got me, man.
Stop
So,
it now.
listen, we're just thinking of you guys, and we're gonna go away with this.
God bless.
An Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans, Guns and Yellow Ribbons. If you like what we do, click on the subscribe on YouTube. We do it for fun. We do it because we're Arsenal fans. Nothing more, nothing less. Guys, thanks very much.
Ferg, I love you, son. I love you, son.
We love you too, Trev.
That reduces me to tears, and tonight it reduces me to tears for a reason that we all know about. God bless you all. God bless you all.
Fair play. T, thanks, mate. See you Saturday.
No worries, boys. Take care.
Yeah. Alex, see you Friday. Bring money.
Yeah, see you in 24 hours, mate.
Alex, if you end up meeting my mate Georgie, boy, tell him to buy me a beer.
I will, mate. I will. I promise.
All right, then. And Trev, get back and take care of that decent wife of yours. She's the best side of you. So, like, you know.
She's looking at me now. She's looking at me now, and I tell you what, mate, I'm such a lucky man. She's a beautiful woman, beautiful face, beautiful heart.
He'll be asleep in 10 minutes.
I know. If he carries on drinking, she'll be off with Panos. There's a reason why he keeps coming over.
You know what? She's proper laughing now. She's proper laughing. How are you two? I don't like swearing on here. I do not like swearing on here, but BT, you're a wanker.
You've been listening to Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Follow us on Facebook at Guns and Yellow Ribbons and Twitter at Guns and Ribbons. And remember to rate and review us too.